Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Good morning, ma'am.
good morning. You are able to see my whiteboard?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. So last class, what did we discuss? We were looking into what exactly is second normal form, right? We saw what is second normal form, and we went into the concept of transitive dependency on which the third normal form depends, right? So second normal form, I said it depends on the concept of, or it is based on the concept of. Any guess? Any idea? Can anyone tell me?
Functional dependence.
Yeah, on what type of functional dependency? Second normal form is based on what? On the concept of what?
Fully functional dependency, ma'am.
Full functional dependency. Right? So it is based on full functional dependency. So we try to understand what is the difference between partial functional dependency and full functional dependency. And then we went to the concept of second normal form. So second normal form states that all the attributes, that is every if you have more than one attribute on your left hand side of the functional dependency, if you remove any of them, if you remove x minus a, then this particular functional dependency should not hold. That is, all functional dependencies should be only full functional dependency when you check for second normal form. So in case of, say, if I have to check whether a table is in first normal form, then I will see to it that all the attributes are of can take the atomic value, single indivisible value. Then if all the attributes are satisfying this particular condition, then I say that that particular table is in first normal form. How do I check for second normal form? I have to analyze all the functional dependencies of the given table. If all the functional dependencies are going to be full functional dependency, then I say that the table is in the second normal form. If there is any functional dependency which is going to violate this condition, we say that it is violating the second normal form, and hence the table is not in second normal form. Then we cannot leave it at that. We have to decompose the table and see to it that the second normal form is satisfied in all the decomposed, or in all the different smaller tables that we have created. Next, we went on to define what is the third normal form. And we started at this point. I said third normal form depends on the concept of transitive dependency. We just try to see what is the definition, or what is the concept of transitive dependency. I think that is where we stopped in the last class. So I told you that if we have a functional dependency like this, x determines y. If I have to call this functional dependency as transitive dependency, then there should exist another set of attributes which is called as z, which is neither a candidate key nor a subset of any key of R. It should not be any of these. And then it should hold this particular dependency. X determines Z, Z determines Y. These two functional dependencies should hold. If all these conditions are satisfied, then we say X determines Y is a transitive dependency. I also gave you an example that SSN determines manager SSN is a transitive dependency. It is a transitive dependency through D number. Through D number. Because I said SSN determines D number is a functional dependency. That is, given SSN, I can find out what is the, I can find out in which department that the employee belongs to. I can find out his department number. Now, given the department number, I can determine what is the SSN of the manager who is in that particular department. So, I can do this also. So, given these two dependencies, I can always infer SSN determines the manager SSN of that particular department. This is a transitive dependency. Through what? Through your D number. That means your SSN is your, this is my X and Y. This is a transitive dependency. What is my Z here? Z is your D number. X determines Z, Z determines Y. Your Y is MGR SSN. SSN is X. Okay, so same condition what I told here also holds here. So we have through D number, this particular dependency becomes a transitive dependency. Is it clear? I think we have made it till here. I think this is where we stop. Now, what do we what do the third normal form state, or what is the definition of third normal form? Right now, let us see what does that state. Third normal form. A relation schema, that is a table R, is said to be in third normal form if it satisfies, first condition is that, first of all, it should be in the second normal form. Even for second normal form, the table should already be in first normal form. Okay, then only we start checking whether the table is in second normal form or not. So the first condition is for third normal form, the table has to be in second normal form. Then second condition is non-prime attribute. That means an attribute which is not a primary key. Non-prime attribute. None of the non-prime attributes should be transitively dependent on the primary key of R. No non-prime attribute. None of them should be transitively dependent on the primary key of R. So what is the third normal form state? The third normal form states that a relation schema, that is a relation R, that is a table, a particular table is said to be in third normal form. If it is already in, it has to be in second normal form, and none of the non-prime attributes should be transitively dependent on the primary key of R. None of the non-prime attribute should be transitively dependent on the primary key of R. This is what we know. What is transitive dependency means, we know what it is now. So none of the non-prime attribute should be transitively dependent on the primary key of R. That is what your third normal form states. Let's take an example. Change the sheet. Okay. So let us take an example. I'm not able to see the screen. Yes. Okay. We will take a table called, what's happening? Let us take a table called as EMP department. Okay. Now this table is going to contain all these attributes. Let us say it has ename. SSN is there, which is the primary key. Then I have birth date. Okay. Then we have address. D number is there. DName, DMGR SSN. That is the manager's SSN of that particular department. These are the tables that I have. Now, what are the functional dependencies that are there? This is one of the functional dependency. Given this means what? What does this functional dependency state? Given the SSN, I can always determine the employee name, birthday, address, and D number. I'll take one more functional dependency. Given the D number, I should be able to determine the D name and the DMGR SSN. So I have, let me put down, first FD1, first functional dependency is what? Given the SSN, I should be able to determine E name, B date, address, D number. This is my one of the functional dependency that is existing. Let me take the second one, FD2. States what? D number determines D name, DMGR SSN. This is my second functional dependency. Do you think that this table is in the third normal form? Is it in the second normal form? Anyone? First, let us see if it is in the first normal form. Is it in the first normal form? The employee department table, is it in the first normal form? Anyone? Students? Is it in the first normal form? Now, this table is in the first normal form because every attribute takes a atomic value. E name, SSN, B date, address, D number, D name, MGR SSN, all these are taking atomic values. Hence, this table is said to be in the first normal form. It satisfies first normal form. Coming to the second normal form. Second normal form means what? It should be fully functionally dependent. So here on the left hand side, the first FD1 if you consider, first functional dependency if you take, there is only one attribute on the LHS. There is nothing to remove and check, is it not? So the second normal form is satisfied with respect FD1 satisfies second normal form. What about FD2? FD2 also on the left hand side, there is only one attribute. So FD2 also satisfies the second normal form. None of the functional dependencies are violating the normal forms, are violating the second normal form, right? Hence, the table is said to be in first normal form. It is also in second normal form. Now we have to check whether the table is in third normal form or not. How do you check that? Third normal form, none of the non-prime attribute should be transitively dependent on the primary key of the table. Okay. Now, if you give look at this particular example, first functional dependency says what? SSN determines E name, birthday, address, and D number. Correct? The second functional dependency says that D number determines D name and DMGR SSN. Now, this particular table, employee EMP-DEPT, is not in 3NF. Why? Because of the transitive dependency of this MGR SSN on SSN via D number. SSN, see what I can infer from this. SSN determines D number. D number determines DMGR SSN. So I can always say SSN determines DMGR SSN. Right? No non-prime attribute of R should be transitively dependent on the primary key, which is dependent on the primary key through transitive dependency. It is MGR SSN. This is non-prime attribute. It is not a primary key. But it's not a prime attribute. But what happens? It is dependent on the primary key of R. Hence, it violates the third normal form. It violates the third normal form. Third normal form states no non-prime attribute of R is transitively dependent on the primary key. This is a non-prime attribute because prime attribute is what in this table? Prime attribute is SSN. This is a non-prime attribute, DMGR SSN, and it is transitively dependent on the primary key. Hence, it violates 3NF. Okay, so now how can we try to, we cannot leave it at that, right? We'll have to make it into a 3NF table. So what do? I'll do a 3NF normalization for this particular table. If I try to do means what? I will try to decompose it. When I try to decompose it, let me take ED1 as one table. E-name, SSN, B-date, address, D number. This is one table. I will take one more table, ED2. That I will take as, I will make this D number, D name and DMGR SSN. So I will split to the table. So this functional dependency holds. This also holds. What did I say? Dependency preservation property. That means whatever you do with respect to when you bring the tables into normalized form, your functional dependency should still be retained. You cannot leave them. Dependency preservation. You have to preserve the functional dependency. See here, in this ED1, both of them now are in third normal form because you are ED1, SSN determines E name, all these things. D number determines these two are two different tables, but still they are in the third normal form. Hence, your violation is set right. Right? So third normal form states that it should be, first of all, table should be in second normal form. The second condition is every non-prime attribute, or rather no non-prime attribute, should be transitively dependent on the primary key of R. So if you are going to have a attribute which is not a prime attribute, it cannot transitively depend on primary key of R. If that is there, then that means it is violating the third normal form. That is what is happening here. When we took our EMP department table, we had two functional dependency here. SSN determines all this including D number. FD2 is what? D number determines DMGR SSN. So I can always say SSN determines DMGR SSN through D number. Now this DMGR SSN is a non-prime attribute which is transitively dependent on the primary key of R. Hence, it is going to violate the third NF. How do you set it right? So we try to decompose this EMP department table into two different tables, ED1 and ED2. So in ED1, but still both the functional dependencies are still retained. Hence, we say that these two tables are in third normal form. Any questions so far? Any doubts till here? What is third normal form? Any doubts, anyone?
No, ma'am. But ma'am, can address be sometimes multi-valued attribute, ma'am?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Tell me again.
Ma'am, address, can it be sometimes multi-valued attribute?
Yeah, it can be. Address can be multi-valued attribute. Suppose I am an employee and I have several residents in Bangalore, not just one. So in that case, address will take a multi-valued attribute for my case. If address becomes a multi-valued attribute, then I cannot include it here in EMP department. I'll have to create a separate table along with the primary key of EMP department. Similar to what we saw in the lab example where we saw phone number was a multiple attribute. So we took that multi-valued attribute in a separate table, phone number, is it not? For every player can have multiple phone numbers. Just remember how we did that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, same thing we have to do here if address becomes a multi-valued address.
Multi-valued address.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Any doubts, anyone, regarding third normal form before we move further? See, these are all very, very important concepts, not just from the point of examination, but still for placement also it's very important. You should be able to tell them what is third normal form, what is second normal form, what is full functional dependency, partial. They might ask you anything, especially if you are going for interview in a database sort of company. Okay. And one more thing before I proceed, I want to tell this. I had shared assignment in the GCR. Did all of you check that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I think some of you have still not accepted the invite. I'm seeing only around 52 students who have accepted the invite. The rest of y'all have not still accepted. I don't know the reason for that. Well, but see to it that you are posting all your assignments well within the given deadline. Okay. Okay. So let's proceed further.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah. Tell me.
Ma'am, both of the assignment has to be done before 30.
Yes, yes. Both have to be done before 30. Together, I think we have only total of 7 questions, I guess. It will not take much of your time. And it's only simple writing queries, that's all. So do it. In between, if you are going to have some internals or something like that, if we get to know like that, then let us see if extension can be done for the last date of submission. Otherwise, as of now, it stands on 30th. It's more than 2 weeks, so it should be sufficient enough. Right. So next, let us move on to, we have now seen what is second normal form and what is third normal form. Next, we go on to some general definitions of second normal form and third normal form. General definitions means there is a different way to put down this definition of what we have already learned. What is it? First, let us look into second normal form. Okay, so relation schema is said to be in second normal form. We said that time that there should be every dependency should be a full functional dependency, correct? That's how we had defined it that time. Now let you put it in the other way around, that's all. So a relation schema R is said to be in a second normal form if every non-prime attribute, just write down here so that you get a clear understanding. Every non-prime attribute is not partially dependent. It's all the same, is it not? On any key of R. What did we say that time? We said it should all functional dependency should be full functional dependent. Now we are saying it should not be partial. Both are same, correct? Just a different way of stating your second normal form. That's all. Okay. There is one more way of telling this third normal form. So what do we do in that? Let us see. So third normal form, we can state it in a way like every third normal form states that a relation schema R is said to be in third normal form. Okay. Whenever you have a functional dependency like this, let us say X determines A holds in R, okay, then either X is a super key of R or, note this difference, or A is a prime attribute of R. Prime attribute of R. Then we say that this relation schema R is in 3NF. Whenever there is a functional dependency like this, X determines A. What does it state? This is slightly different from what we saw now. 3NF, we stated that every non-prime attribute should be, no non-prime attribute should be transitively dependent on the primary key of R. That is what we had stated. That is one way of stating the third normal form. Another way condition for third normal form, another way of stating it is what? A relation schema R, that is any table. Okay, relation means it is table. It is said to be in 3NF if whenever we have a dependency like this, X determines A, holds in R, then either your X should be a super key of R or A should be a prime attribute of R. One of these conditions have to hold, then we say that this table is in the 3NF with respect to this particular functional dependency. Okay. Second normal form states what? Another way of stating it is what? Every non-prime attribute, none of the non-prime attributes should be partially dependent, or every non-prime attribute should not be partially dependent on any key of R. Either it's all the functional dependency is a full functional dependency. That's one way of stating. Second way of stating what we said, none of the functional dependency should be partially dependent. That is the second way of stating it. Okay, that is second normal form. Third normal form is slightly, both the definitions are slightly different. First definition, what we said, if none of the non-prime attribute should be transitively dependent on the prime attribute of R. That is one way of stating the third normal form, for which we saw an example. Another definition of third normal form is what? A table is said to be in third normal form if whenever this kind of a functional dependency is there, X determines A, in that case X should be a super key of R or A should be a prime attribute of R. One of these conditions have to be satisfied. Then we say that the functional dependency does not violate your 3NF and hence your table is said to be in 3NF. Okay. Let us take some example, one example, and see both these definitions or both normal form. Okay, so let's take an example. Take a table called lots. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. This table contains all these attributes. Property ID number, which is the primary key there. Then I have country name, lot number, area, price, tax rate. Now, here, this is a candidate key. Okay, and then we have certain primary, functional dependency. Given the property ID, it determines all these things. So, given the property ID, I can determine all of these. That is your functional dependency 1. Second functional dependency, okay, this is my second functional dependency, which states that given the country name and the lot number, I can identify the property ID and all other things. Okay, FD3. Again, I will take this combination determining tax rate. FD4 is area determines price. That is your 4. Okay. Now in this, but lot means take it as land. In the foreign countries, generally some of the countries, lot means it's a land. Okay. This is basically a particular table which gives you the details of the land, property ID number, the country name, within the country name, what is the land number, what is the area of that, what is the price, and how much of tax is levied on that particular piece of land. That's all is the description about this particular schema. All right. Now, in this particular table, we have 4 functional dependencies, right? So the first one, I have shown all that. Property ID determines everything else. Then we have country name, and given the country name and lot number, we can determine the rest. Then the third one, given the country name and the lot number, I can determine the tax rate. Given the area, I can determine the price, which is the fourth functional dependency. Now, here, there are two candidate keys in this particular table. What is a candidate key? Anyone quickly?
Set of primary key.
Yeah, more than one key can be considered as a primary key, then you call them as candidate keys. All right. So in that, one of them you designate as primary key, the other one as an alternate key. Right. Now, here there are two candidate keys. One is property ID number. This is a candidate, one of the candidate key. And then you have a composite key. Composite key means combination of key. Country name, comma, lot number. These two together can form a primary key. It's a composite key because you have more than one attribute which together form the primary key. So these are the two candidate keys that we have. That is lot numbers. It's lot number which is there. They are unique only within each country. But property ID numbers are unique across the countries. Across the countries means for all the states, let us say. It is unique. But this one, with respect to every, right. See, this country, country means it is something like a state in abroad. Okay, this is a foreign US based example. So within each country, the lot numbers are unique. That is why we have taken it like this. But property ID is unique across the countries. A country means you can take it as a city. State means the entire country. That is our understanding. Okay. So this is your property ID is unique across a larger scope. Like that you can understand. Country name, for every country there is going to be a different unique lot number. Okay. Now, based on these two candidate keys, property ID and this composite key, we know that if you look at FD1 and FD2, both these functional dependencies hold. Why? When you look at FD1, is there anything that is not atomic? Everything will take an atomic value, single value here. So FD1 is in first normal form. If you look at FD1 with respect to the second normal form, FD1 also satisfies second normal form because on the left side you have just one key. So there is nothing to remove and check. So FD1 also satisfies second normal form. I will take only these two for now. FD2. If you look at FD2, FD2 satisfies, does it satisfy second normal form? Yes, because country name and lot number, given just the country name or only the lot number, you will not be able to identify the property ID. So it is a full functional dependency, FD2. That means it is not a partial dependency. For example, if I remove country name, in FD2, we have, what is our FD2 states? Country name, comma, lot number, determines property ID and all that stuff. The rest all it will determine. If I remove one of them also, I will not be able to identify the prime property ID. Either I remove country name or I remove lot number, I will not be able to identify this part. Hence, I say it is a full functional dependency. Hence, it also satisfies the second normal form. So FD1 and FD2, no much of issue. They are satisfying the second normal form. We are mostly now looking into second and third. That's all. Okay. Now, suppose we look into the third and the fourth. Now, what is my third functional dependency? It says that country name identifies or determines the tax rate. Okay. Now, this functional dependency, it states that this tax rate is fixed for a particular country. It does not vary land by land within the same country. It is fixed. Okay. What does this FD4 state? What is FD4? FD4 states that area determines price. So area determines price means it says that price of a particular land is determined by its area regardless of which country it is in, right? So if when I say a functional dependency like this homes, area determines the price. So there is no country or there is nothing here. There is no country name at all. That means what? Price of a land is determined by its area, regardless of which country it is in. Correct? Now, this lots relation schema, it actually violates the general definition of second normal form. Can you tell me why? General definition of second normal form. Second normal form, general definition states that none of them should be partially functionally dependent. Everything should be full, is it not? But if you look at this FD3, FD3, what happens? Tax rate is partially, it is dependent on the candidate key. Country name, okay, this is country name, comma, lot number. Okay, country name, comma, lot number. This is what? Third functional dependency. Okay, third functional dependency says what? It violates the second normal form. Why? Because this tax rate, it is partially dependent on the candidate key. If I remove one of them, I can still identify what is the tax rate. Either I remove lot number or I remove the country name, I can still find out what is the tax rate. So this tax rate is partially dependent. That is why this FD3 violates the second normal form. FD1 and FD2, no issues. They are not violating any of them. But its FD3 violates the second normal form because this tax rate is partially dependent on the candidate key, country name, comma, lot number. So we have to normalize this table lots. Hence, even if, what did I say? Even if one of the functional dependency does not satisfy any of the normal form, then we say table itself is not in the normal form. So I cannot say this lots is in first normal form, but I cannot say lots is in second normal form. It is not in second normal form because FD3 violates the second normal form. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So now how do I make this lots table? Lots table is in first normal form. Lots table is when you check lots table for second normal form, FD1 and FD2 holds the second normal form. There is no problem with them. But when you look into FD3, FD3 violates the second normal form. Why does it violate? Because country name, comma, lot number is the candidate key there. So this country name, comma, lot number is a candidate key. This determines your tax rate. Even if I remove one of them, I can still identify what is the tax. Hence, your FD3 violates your second normal form. So what should I do? Hence, since FD3 is violating second normal form, I cannot say that this lots table is in second normal form. Lots table is not in second normal form because of the violation caused by FD3. So what can I do now? I will decompose this lots table into lots 1 and lots 2. Okay. Lots 1, I will take property ID, which is the primary key, country name, lot number. I will take area, and then I will take the price. I will not bring this tax rate here because that was one which was violating. So what will I do? I will take this country name and tax rate as a separate table. Country name and tax rate. This one determines all of these. FD2, no? FD2 will, this will, these two will determine the rest. That is country name and lot number will determine the property ID and other things. So that FD is also retained. FD4 is area determines price, is not a point violation. So I will retain FD4 also. FD1 is this. FD1 will always hold. This is FD2. FD1 is also there because that is not violating anything. This is your FD1. And FD3, I will take it as a separate table. So I have decomposed the lots table into lots 1 and lots 2 and put this tax rate into a separate table because the tax rate was partially dependent on the candidate key of lots. So now according to this definition, we have lots 1, we have removed the attribute tax rate that violates this 2NF. So now both lots 1 and lots 2 are in second normal form. This FD4 does not violate second normal form, okay, because there's only one attribute on the left hand side, nothing to check. So that is not violating and it is carried over to lots 1. Right? So now lots 2 is in third normal form. Now, lots 2, according to general definition of this is about 1 minute, second normal form. Let's move and see if this holds for, does this table is in third normal form or not. Let us see that. Now, according to the general definition of third normal form, what is the general definition of third normal form? When you have a dependency like this, X should be a super key or A should be a prime attribute. This is your general definition of third normal form. Please remember, one third normal form we saw which was based on transitive dependency. One more definition is called as general definition of 3NF, which states that table is said to be in 3NF if for this particular dependency either X should be a super key or A should be a prime attribute of R. In that case, then we say it is 3NF. Now let us see for this lots. We have now what we had lots. We have decomposed that into lots 1 and lots 2. Both are now in second normal form, lots 1 and lots 2. Now, let us come to the third general definition of 3NF. Lots 2 is in 3NF, no issues. Look into lots 1. Let me go to the previous one. Yeah. Look into the lots 1. Lots 2, that is your FD3 is in third normal form. Because why? X is a super key anyways. Country name is a super key. Right? Even though tax rate is not a primary attribute, country name determines tax rate. Country name is a super key. So this lots 2 is in third normal form. So that way no issues. Come back to lots 1. Look at this FD4. Look at FD4. What does FD4 say? Area determines price. Is it in does it follow the general definition of third normal form? General definition of third normal form, what does it state? Either X should be a primary key, super key, or A should be a prime attribute. Look at here. Area determines price. Area is not a super key. Price is also not a prime attribute. So this does not follow your third normal form. Or FD4, it violates the third normal form. Hence your lots 1 table is not in 3NF. Area is not a super key here. Price is not a prime attribute in lots 1. In lots 1, which is a prime attribute, property ID is the prime attribute. Or you should take the candidate key, country name and lots number. Both are not there. Area determines price. Area is not a super key. Price is not a prime attribute. Hence your third general definition of 3NF is what? That X either should be a super key or A should be a prime attribute. That is not satisfied. So we have to decompose this lots 1 into 2 different tables. Okay. So I will take one table as lots 1A in this. Let me separate out those two. Okay. So I have property ID, number, country name, lot number, I will take because these are candidate keys, and then I will take area, but I will not take the price. This area determines price. I will make here area as a candidate key and then put price here. This is still okay because area becomes a candidate key now. As I said, price is determined based on the area and not on any country. Okay, so I can make area as a candidate key. This is my FD4 which I have retained. Now, this is my FD1. Nothing is lost. FD1 is there. And I also have FD2, which is this one. This is my FD2. Right? Now, both these tables are in 3NF. So, what we did, we started with the lots. Then we decomposed lots into lots 1 and lots 2 because FD3 was violating the second normal form in lots. So we divided it, decomposed it into lots 1 and lots 2. Now, lots 2 still continued to, both these are in second normal form now, but lots 2 continued to satisfy even the general definition of third normal form. But lots 1 failed in general definition of third normal form because price determines area. FD4 was there. FD4 violated the general definition of third normal form. So we decompose this further into lots 1A and lots 1B. Now all are in third normal form. All this lots 1A and lots 1B both are in third normal form. Yeah. So this is one more way of seeing. We saw general definition of 2NF and general definition of 3NF. General definition of 2NF states that there should not be any partial dependency. One definition, general, what we saw a couple of classes back was every functional dependency should be fully functionally dependent. Today's definition, general definition states that there should not be any partial functional dependency. Third normal form, one definition we saw is there should no non-prime attribute should be transitively dependent on the primary key of R. General definition of third normal form states what? Table is said to be in third normal form if for a particular dependency X determines A, either X should be a super key or A should be a prime attribute of R. So we took this example. Let me go back to this. Let me summarize. So we took this one particular example to see to prove the general definition of 2NF and 3NF. This table is already in 1NF, so no issues with respect to 1NF. When we come to second NF or 2NF, this table lots is not in 2NF because FD3 violates the 2NF. Why does it FD3? FD3 states what? Country name and lot number determines your tax rate. That is the FD3. That violates the second normal form because even if I remove one of them, I can still determine tax rate, which means tax rate is partially dependent on the candidate key, which is a violation of second normal form. Hence, we say lots table is not in second normal form. So how did we bring it into second normal form? We divided or decomposed this lots table into lots 1 and lots 2. So I pushed that functional dependency FD3 as a separate table. I retained FD4 in lots 1 because FD4 in lots 1 does not violate second normal form. It does not violate second normal form. Area determines price, that's all. It is fully dependent because there is only one attribute on the left hand side. That itself shows we don't have to test it for second normal form, it holds. So FD4 we have carried on carried over in lots 1 itself. Only FD3 we pushed it as a separate table because that was the one which was violating our second normal form condition. So now lots 1 and lots 2 both are in second normal form. Coming to the third normal form, general definition of third normal form. Lots 2 is already in third normal form. Country name is a candidate key, so that condition is satisfied. Coming to lots 1, third normal form, it is not in third normal form because FD4 violates the third normal form. When I say FD4 is what here? Area determines price. Area is neither a super key. Price is not a primary key. One of the conditions should be satisfied. Both are false. So FD4 violates third general definition of third normal form. Okay, so then how can we try to bring it into the normal form? We try to push whatever is violating it. We try to take it as a separate table. So area determines price. We took it as lots 1B. So we did this lots 1. We again decomposed it into lots 1A and lots 1B. In this lots 1B, we put the FD4, which violated our third normal form. Now you look into this table. FD1, FD2, FD4, all are in third normal form. So the lots table, which was not in second normal form, we brought it into second normal form by decomposing it into lots 1 and lots 2. Again, lots 1 was not in third normal form, so we decomposed it further into lots 1A and lots 1B. Now we see that at the end result is what? All the tables are 2NF and 3NF. So you should very well know the definition of what is first normal form, what is second normal form, and what is our third normal form. If you are confused, then it is difficult. Any doubts at this point? So only there is one definition that we learnt on first normal form, and we learnt two definitions on second normal form, and we learnt two definitions of third normal form. Of course, second normal form, both the definitions are told in almost the same way, not full and not partial, both mean the same. But third normal form, there is a slight difference. First definition talks of transitive dependency. Second definition talks in terms of candidate key and primary key. One of the condition has to be satisfied. This you have to keep it in mind. And when they ask you about third normal form, you should write both and give an example for both, as we have done now. Any doubts, anyone, at this point of time?
No, ma'am.
Okay, answer your attendance. Nanaga? Where is it? Abhilash?
Yes, ma'am.
Akhil?
Ma'am.
Akrut?
Yes, ma'am.
Anisha?
Yes, ma'am.
Arifullah?
Yes, ma'am.
Aravind, yes, Aravind.
Present, ma'am.
Yeah. Benaka?
Present, ma'am.
Banu?
Yes, ma'am.
Bhargav?
Yes, ma'am.
Rahmatullah?
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra?
Present, ma'am.
Chandana?
Present, ma'am.
Charan?
Yes,
Darshan?
Present, ma'am.
Diksha? Dakshayani?
Present, ma'am.
Kishan?
I'm 17 present, ma'am.
Kishan?
Present, ma'am.
Harshit? Hemalata?
Present, ma'am.
Present,
Uma?
ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Uma?
Present, ma'am.
Jayant? Jayant? Divya,
Yes, ma'am.
Kaushik,
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi, Lavanya,
Present, ma'am.
Manish,
Present, ma'am.
Manoj,
Present, ma'am.
Mohit,
Yes, ma'am.
Naval,
Present, ma'am.
Navya,
Present, ma'am.
Nikhil,
Yes, ma'am.
Panindra,
Present, ma'am.
Pavan,
Yes, ma'am.
Pooja,
Present, ma'am.
Present.
Neha,
Yes, ma'am.
Raman,
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi,
Present, ma'am.
Rupak. Rupak is not there today. Sai Kumar, Sameer,
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Santosh,
Present, ma'am.
Shadar,
Present, ma'am.
Sharan,
Present, ma'am.
Shashank,
Present, ma'am.
Sheetal,
Present, ma'am.
Shivani,
Present, ma'am.
Soumya,
Present, ma'am.
Spurti,
Present, ma'am.
Sri Vishnu,
Present, ma'am.
Sugandhini,
Present, ma'am.
Sushma,
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita,
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita you,
Present, ma'am.
Tirtha,
Present, ma'am.
Tripti,
Present, ma'am.
Varsha, Veena.
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
So then Anaga is present, Harshit is present, Jayant is present, Lakshmi is present. Who else? That's all. Yeah. Rupak is absent for the day. Right. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions? Those who have not still accepted the invite for assignments, please accept that and complete it well within the time. If there is any extension required based on our change in schedule, then we will think about that. Right now, the deadline is to finish it by 30th of June. Both assignments are in the same file, so please look into it. Right? Yeah. Thank you all.